Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Spec Media YouTube channel and now IG Live. It is officially going. What's up, IG Live? Thank you guys for watching. This is your boy, Rich Taylor, aka Dollar, bringing you another live stream by the dip episode. We're going to call this episode 14.1 since Aaron and I weren't available last week. Actually, I wasn't available. Aaron's always available, so he's a great friend. But so we're going to cover 2 weeks of House of Stein by the dip list, and then we're going to get into our list, and then we'll chop it up about some other collectibles or comic book or pop culture stuff. You know, just a bunch of geeks just hanging out this late on a Monday night. I appreciate you guys watching. Let's get started here, but first let's pay the bills, as TiVo would say. Make sure you guys, if you guys are shipping if you're shipping comic books or magazines through United States Postal Service, UPS, or FedEx, make sure you're using Gemini Comic Supply. You get 10% off your next order. Use the code POPCORN99, all one word. And if that code is played out, there's a bonus code, SSP99, like super short print 99, and you'll receive an additional 10% off that particular order. So without further ado, let's bring up my co-host, my brother from another mother, Aaron Yee, doing work after work. What's up, Aaron? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, just getting ready to send out cards. Like, this was a Adley Rushman that sold off of my eBay. That's awesome. If you want to give away from us during our giveaway show to celebrate, what was it? Was it 800 subscribers? Is that right? Oh yeah, I don't want to dox anyone. Your comic package is going out to Wayne Scott and Ariel Esta. I'm gonna butcher your last name. Sorry, Ariel. Your cards are right here, so I'm packing them up next. But they will be dropped off at the post office tomorrow morning on my way to work.
Cool. Well, you're a good man, Aaron. Thank you very much. And the two particular people that won the Adams 1 in 25 lot with Rogue and Emma Frost, and then the LeBron James last season's Monopoly Prison, the Black SSP Black Monopoly game. I know Kirby Carpenter was one of them. I can't remember who the other one was, so my bad. It might be Crimson Terror. But make sure you guys hit me up on this Spec Media IG or my personal Spec Media IG and give me those addresses. I have them wrapped as well, like Aaron, but I haven't done anything with the shipping labels. I'll do that tomorrow to make sure you get with me. So I
sent you one of them. I don't remember who.
Okay. I'll check. I'll catch up on my my DM. So hey, Brad Selvlin's in the house. Funhouse always holding it down with a wrench. Igor, what up, man? He says, hey guys, happy Monday. Very happy to see you coming over here now, Igor. Very cool. Very cool.
Were you watching Flipside? Were you watching Flipside Funhouse? Because I was over there for a second.
Oh, there you go.
No.
And Funhouse is like, yeah, I just see you? Okay, gotcha. Crimson Terror 85, what's up, man? Congratulations again on your win. I believe you won 1 or 2. Did he win 1 or 2 last week or 2 weeks ago?
I want to say he messaged me. He won one of your giveaways. I don't remember which one.
I think he won the actual Adams lot, the 1 in 25 lot. But yeah, he says, I've already done so. Okay, thank you very much. Funhouse is agreeing. Goes on and says, Dino looks like a porn star with that mustache. The CEO of Tales from the Flip Side is officially looking like a porn star.
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought that was pretty obvious. Like,
yeah. Like, all right, guys, it's late. I know Aaron has to work tomorrow. I have a lot to do tomorrow. I have doctors and I got some other stuff to do. So let's get the show started. This is By the Dip, episode number 14.1. Here we go. Now we are covering the House of Stein original Hot 10 comic show every Friday night, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Your getaway, your weekend starts with the House of Stein original Hot 10 comic show. We do 4 lists over there. And Buy the Dip is the second list that we do. So we're going to go ahead and cover the last 2 weeks. I wasn't available last week. Aaron, I'm seeing here in the notes as well, backstage. So we're looking at Deadpool, Secret Wars. This is the Bacalo percentile qualifier that has Gwenpool on the front. What's going on with this book? And it's specifically in a CGC 9.8.
So a CGC 9.8 sold for $125. I'm pretty sure that's the lowest it's been since. What did it say? It was, I want to say, pre-pandemic prices. Like it's down. So
okay.
I mean, but do you think, is this partly because of what the writer is doing with Gwenpool herself? Like, you know, as we know, Longshort's like one of the biggest Gwenpool fans like ever, and he is not too happy with what they're doing with that character.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you're probably right. I'm sure it adds, doesn't help, right?
But it's not. Yeah, it's not helping, right?
Right. But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, but I like Gwenpool. You like Gwenpool. So does Longshort. But and no disrespect to Gwenpool fans, but is their comic actually being ordered like over 30,000-40,000, or is this just like a character that is, you know, has a after the first issue ends up having you know, barely 10 to 15,000 orders by retailers. I'm just saying that just because it kind of will give me like a sense of what the rest of the country that we don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's a super meta character, anyways. Like, I think if you're into that kind of humor, then like this character,
the fourth wall stuff, like Deadpool and all that.
Well, more of the sense that, like, you know, she was brought from the real world into a comic book, and then just that kind of sense of humor, right? That they have, like they play into that a lot.
That's very cool. Very cool. All right, I'm saying hi to my IG live people. What's up, man? Aaron and I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. There's like 7-8 people in that live chat, and we have 9, 10, 11 here. Hopefully the party gets a little bigger. I wanted to talk about a couple other books that, you know, because you guys know Aaron and I got our big start, our start on YouTube and all that, yeah, from Tales from the Flip Side, right? And we came in around the same time. So a lot of these books, depending on the show we were doing, we would talk about, in some cases, pretty passionately. You know, sometimes these guys would be arguing over books. I mean, I must have left that chat 1 or 2 times because I was pissed off. I mean, you know, but this particular character has come up so many times with Flipside and after Flipside. When we left Flipside, shout out to Flipside, they're still doing well. But here's some other covers that Aaron and I like, besides cover A, obviously, because this is where she makes her first in-story appearance, and Gwenpool makes her first cover, but she's not in the book. Right here is your 1 in 25. Now, everybody kind of knows this one. This one's really hard to find in the wild and or on a wall. I'm sure it's probably on a dip right now, but and I'm not a big Ron Lim fan, but I think this is good Ron Lim. This is solid Ron Lim. Plus, you know, you get the first print 1 in 25 book that was ordered like 50K according to Comicron. You know, if you do the math on 4% of that, not that many copies out there. And then if you can't find that one, Aaron and I love this one. We love the second print of this book. Now her face is on the cover. You know, you get your in-story first full, and it's just not a lot of second prints out there. But this particular second print was tied to a variant right here, which is basically the Ron Lim color incentive variant from the first print, but it's just, as you can see, a sketch. I would say sketch. I don't know if you want to say color splash, whatever, because it is partial. But yeah, this one was a retailer unlocked variant, aka percentile qualifier. Tough book. But yeah, I think these were, if you're priced out of that, you know, that Secret Wars, and then you get into this Howard the Duck 1, and you're priced out at 1 in 25. I think this second print, and I think this second print percentile qualifier Ron Lim sketch are good plays for this character.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't I always forget, like, because there's always like a debate about this cover, if it's a second print or if it's a like a cover C or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
like I never remember like which way is correct at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Yeah.
So but I mean it's still it's still a great cover that like it's not super common either to find. Like there's not just like a big pile of them that you would run into at a shop, right?
I mean, oh yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. There
Yeah.
was a long time I remember seeing eBay sellers like when this book was listed, it would say 1 in 25. 1 in 20.
Right. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, people
And
they always try to say it's an incentive, even though it's
yeah, and then
yeah.
and shout out to Ultra Maximus. I mean, he was the one that actually kind of
Did good.
slammed the ruler down and gave us the goods and let us know what was going on. I think he was even saying at that time he was either like working at the comic shop.
LCS at the
Yeah.
time, and then he was the one placing the orders.
Yeah.
So
So yeah. And
yeah,
he's pretty good anyways, but yeah, so it kind of schooled us on that one. And I like this book. I think this is really cool. And like Aaron said, you're not going to find a stack of them on the LCS counter when you walk in. So tough book. All right, let's move on. Batman Beyond #1. This is from the 1999 Volume 1 series, particularly in a CGC 9/8. Ben Stein noticed a couple things, couple figures here. This book's down. Aaron, what's going on here?
so a CGC 98 sold for $9.25. That's the lowest since pre-COVID. Like, which is to me, that seems like I don't understand why it went to a dip, right?
Right.
Because like someone had presented to WB a animated series of Batman Beyond, like the script they had written for it, and it went from never gonna happen to a maybe. I mean I don't say that's gonna be promising, but at the same time, like, hey, if they ever run like dry from the well or whatever they're trying to do, and they need something, it seems like they have a direction they could go,
Yeah.
and
Good call.
it seems like the writer's really passionate about that. So, but I mean, also if if that nostalgia bug has bit you and you don't have a copy, like go for it.
Oh yeah, big time. I agree. All right. All right, let's move on. Young Avengers #1. This is from Volume 1 from 2005. Multiple first appearances, including the most important first appearance as of today, Kate Bishop, specifically in a CGC 9/8. What's going on here?
So Stein and I had caught that a CGC 98 of this had sold for $250. So
Has it been lower than that in the post pandemic?
I want to say it was like in the $300 range.
Okay.
Like 300, 325. I think it's the first time we like had it on Buy the Dip.
Yeah.
And then like, so I guess my question to you is, do you think that's the rock bottom price of this book? Is it $250? Like, I don't see it. I don't see it.
$250.
Yeah, I don't see it going to like $200 or anytime soon, right?
I think if we didn't hear any of that Young Avengers live action stuff that they decided to go with after the writer's strike, that they've been putting tea leaves out, I think maybe it could have dropped down. Maybe not 200. I know what you're talking about, that 200. I see it in my head, but maybe like 225 to 240. But I think 250, like Aaron said, backstage and right now just alluded to. I mean, this might be the time to buy on this book.
Well,
What do
yeah.
you think? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, especially like if you've never had this book before and you've always kind of wanted it, or you like the direction that Marvel's moving with these characters, like, yeah.
Yeah. So it's obviously going to be it's obviously going to be a, most likely, I guess, when it comes to live action, it's going to be a different roster, right? So the roster that I'm thinking is going to be most particular is Volume 2, is from the 2012-2013 series. That's when you had American Chavez in there, and
See, I figured they would, if they didn't,
Wiccan, and
yeah, if they weren't going in that direction, I figured they would have like kind of like used the title of Young Avengers and then like mash it with like West Coast Avengers or something like that.
Oh yeah, that would be a good idea. That's That's like so default. That's so what the MCU would do too for their own like original characters and stuff.
Right, where it's like kind of like, oh, we're gonna pull from this and this, and then like make our own thing. So it's gonna be the West Coast Young Avengers.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's move on. All right, this one is a very controversial. And I wouldn't say very. I wouldn't say it's 181 versus or 180 versus 181, but it's up there. We're talking about X-Men Annual issue number 14, particularly in a CGC 98. Looks like direct edition because I know newsstands go for a little bit more, but not a lot of analytics on there. I thought it was interesting that before we go in there, that this particular picture that I took from the eBay, this guy actually got a 9.8 and it says off-white to white pages. I understand. I know it doesn't really matter with page quality, but there's always this talk in the circles like, oh, but the pages are so white, maybe I'll get a half point bump or something. So, but what's going on here, Aaron? And by the way, this is the first appearance of Gambit. So, and I like this character. I believe everything but confirmed. I think Channing Tatum is playing Gambit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's still on, but that's the last I heard. But what's going on here, Aaron? What was it selling for, and why is it on Buy the Dip?
So on March 15th, a CGC 98 had sold for $150. So
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then like just a month ago, like in February, we saw a sale of like 250. So
wow, interesting.
To see a book like this like decline so much when you have like 14 panels of a character.
Unbelievable. At least 11 or 12. Yeah.
Sure.
Talks
and named, right?
What up, JLS? What up, Planet AZ? Glad you guys got your wrenches. Jersey to Bay, what up, man? Slack, what up, man? Thank you very much. We'll catch up to the chat in a bit. Planet AZ says, I sold a 9.4 of this book for that price 2 years ago. Oh, wow. Good job. Good job.
So now you can buy back in and get a 9A. You can upgrade.
For sure. That's the name of the game, right? Yeah. So, all right. But let's, I threw a couple up here. I wanted to show you. So obviously this is Gambit. This is his first cover appearance and second appearance. Some people say first full. I don't know where they get that, but yeah, first cover and second appearance. I would say this cover is iconic, right? Is this cover iconic? Jim Lee iconic, right?
Yeah, definitely, easily iconic. Like as soon as you see this in a bin, you know it's a key. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And then I wanted to add this on there. Shout out to my comic shop. My comic shop. I was looking at my comic shop stuff, new listings or whatever, and this thing just popped up. I think it's even on auction. I'm not sure. It could be a buy it now. I can't remember. But I go CVCS 99. What? Wow.
Nice.
So interesting. I'm gonna watch that sale and see what it sells for. So I'm interested to see what happens there. So. All right, this is the last. I believe this is there's two more, and then we'll get into the final list, and then we'll let you guys go. So this is Sandman. Is this Sandman 75 or is it Sandman the Tempest number 75 second print?
I want to say this is that 75 second print.
Okay, yeah. So Sandman number 75, issue 75 second print. And specifically in a CGC 9.6, this book is supposed to be super scarce. Shout out to Ben Stein, who had a really good analysis on this book last week. What's going on, Aaron? And if you can recall anything that he jotted down about this book.
Okay, so a CGC 9.6 sold for $170, which is tied for the all-time low. A CGC a CGC 9.8 sold for $800. Wow. This book once peaked at $1,500.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Ben was saying that this is an old school. I believe it's the last issue, right? Last issue as well. Spec. It was like a old CBSI, like the people before the CBSI owners now. Yeah. And they spec'd on this book. There's just not a lot of copies out there. It's a legitimate go. Shout out to Long Short. But yeah, for $170 after everything I learned about this book, you said for 9.6, I think I'm buying there. What do you think?
For $170? Yeah, like I'm totally buying that at a like that's worth the gamble to me, right? Like I think I would go as far as like at that price, I think I would gamble like a CPR at $150 to like potentially make 800 to potentially make $800. Or,
I mean, unless you
like,
saw something like completely obvious,
right, like a crazy like corner that's like it's so rounded that it's not going to hit that. But I mean, if everything looks like pretty sharp and stuff like that, and like it where this might have gotten graded during that time period when Sandman was about to release, and someone just tried to rush did like a quick press on it or something like that.
Yes,
just to see if they could squeeze it in 9.8 and get it out there on market.
Good point. Or maybe it was graded on location and the person didn't even get it pressed. Just thought it was a nice copy and just send it in.
JLS. Yeah, this is the second print. And then I think Ben did allude to the fact that the newsstand first print is really tough to find.
Yeah. And I remember him talking about that. Okay.
That might be more rare than a second print. I mean, both are incredibly hard to find. So, if you find it out in the wild, go ahead and pick it up.
Pounce on it.
Yep.
So, all right, let's move on. Last book from the last 2 weeks by the Dip lists combined collectively and respectively on the original Hot 10 comic show on the House of Stein YouTube channel. Oh, no, actually, maybe there is 2 more books. I don't know. Invincible number 19. This is actually kind of a big book when it comes to Invincible, right?
Oh, yeah. So this is the first appearance of Battle Beast.
A Battle Beast, right.
Yeah.
And isn't Battle Beast showing up in any of the recent seasons in the animation on Prime?
He was at the end of season 1, and then he made an announcement on that he will return. And then in the first part of the second season, you see a similar race, I guess, or being from that same planet as Battle Beast. So, but we haven't seen a return of Battle Beast yet in Invincible. But I feel like he is going to show up again at some point in time, especially when I think he's gonna, I mean, I haven't read the series, so I don't know, but I assume that he does come back at some point in time.
These Invincible keys are, even the fillers are very interesting to me. I mean, when I find fillers, non-keys in the wild, I always try to grab them. But
it's just a low print run, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like I like if you find a good gap of them, it's a good enough price and nice enough condition, it's probably worth picking up.
100%. All right, let's move on. Void Rivals. This is the 1 in 100, correct? 1 in 100. And this is issue number 1. This was a Hot 10 book. What's going on here, Aaron? And specifically in a CGC, is it CGC 9.8, right?
Yeah, in a CGC 9.8, this has been selling between $200 to $220.
And so, that's down, huh? Because I
yeah,
remember this thing was over $300
raw.
Yeah.
$300 raw. And I think it was at one point in time, at that $500, $600 price point.
And didn't Void Rivals? It came out after the pandemic, right?
Yeah, this was the start of the relaunch of Transformers and G.I. Joes to start the building of the Energon universe.
So raw, this 1 in 100 was over 3 times ratio, and 9.8 is selling for $220. Man, that might be the time to make the move right now.
Yeah, I mean, if this is a Johnson book, is it Dave Johnson?
It's either Brad or Dave, one of them.
I think it's Dave Johnson. So,
yeah.
Anyways, I was surprised. Even though I heard the secret of what Void Rivals was before, I'm surprised that it didn't leak out more beforehand to the general population. Like, I mean, like when I heard the secret or whatever, like I was sworn to secrecy to like never not reveal it like on beforehand, and I mean, out of respect to who told me.
Right. Of
Uh,
course. Of
yeah,
course.
but I mean, at the same time, like it was pretty exciting to see like the comic book community excited about like Transformers again, and
Yeah.
then even hearing reviews of people that didn't really grow up on that time period
That they're into it. They like it.
that
Yeah.
yeah, that they liked where the Energon universe was going. So
I think the lack of that Transformers isn't in the title. I think that's actually a good thing. And it probably, in my opinion, I think probably the publisher, a distributor, or whoever decides this stuff probably thought they were kind of hedging their bets. Like it was actually kind of a bullish move, kind of a gamble, you know?
right. I mean it's an Image Skybound property, and then
Yes. Shout out to Skybound Image. Hell yeah.
yeah, and then you have you have Robert Kirkham involved in the project and everything. So who's obviously a fan of Transformers and GI Joe. So to be able to like build his own sandbox, like
Yeah.
that's kind of cool, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. I agree. Good one. All right, let's move on. We have New Mutants 87, particularly in a CBCS 98. What's going on here, Aaron? What was it selling for before? What's it selling for now? And what does Ben have to say about this?
All right, so a CBCS 98 sold for $250.
Was that?
I've
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I have personally paid for a 96 in a direct and newsstand before that for the same price. And that's
Jesus.
yeah. So I mean, if I had waited 4 years, I guess I could have gotten a 98 for that cheap or whatever. But I mean, it's completely different. Like it's completely crazy to hear that um that New Mutants 87, which was always the book to have in this run,
Right.
like over New Mutants 98, like that everyone wanted this book in their collection, like growing up in the 90s. And then
Some things are going down. We're trying to catch and but welcome Henry, by the way. By the dip, here we just try to catch some books. Most of the time we like the books to rebound. That could be on the low, or we might not like the book and we might not think it might be a good
but buy back in or whatever.
buy back in, but maybe it was on a hot 10 list before, something like that. Just something to talk about. But thanks for the question, appreciate it, and welcome. Yeah, I was gonna say real quick, so well, first I was gonna ask before you answer this, so you're buying in this, right? The CBCS 984. You said how much did you say it was selling for?
So it sold for 250.
Okay, so you're buying in at 250, right? I
Easily.
don't care. I don't care if you are or not, but just like play with me here.
Yeah.
Well, you are. You're obviously going to anyway, so it makes it even better. Are you getting it reslapped?
Oh,
CGC.
So if I'm keeping it for my PC, no. But if I'm flipping, yes. So
Okay.
so long story, yes. Short story, no.
Okay.
Like so, it just depends on like. I personally already have this book. I think in CGC 96s. So would I take the gamble to like CPR a CBCS 98, or would I just crack it from the slab and grade it or send it over for grading? I probably just take the gamble and just send it over and grade and see what happens. And then if it doesn't come back a 9.8, then I'll
Or
probably
9.9.
Yeah, then I probably crack one of my CGC 9.6s with the old label and take a gamble on both. Then I guess.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm kind of in the same boat. It's probably just going to go into my slab bin for a while, but if as soon as I decide to flip it or what have you, equity build or what have you, meaning it's gaining value, then yeah, maybe I'm getting it regraded by CGC just because of that that market dip, which hopefully one day it catches up, but it doesn't sound like it's ever going to.
I mean, we don't know what they're gonna do, like, once they rebuild the MCU, right? Like, once they start leading into X-Men and all that, like, it could eventually, down the road, lead to X-Force and Cable.
Well, that's what I was actually going to finish by asking you. So that recent news, like over the last 2-3 weeks, that I guess Josh Brolin was asked, and also the very talented young lady that plays Domino, they were both asked within the same, like within that week, like a few days, were they going to be in Deadpool 3? And Josh Brolin said, no, I'm not going to be in it. He was like straight up, like, I don't know if it was, he's bullshitting us, pulling our leg, but I wonder, and that was recent, that was just a couple weeks ago. So I'm wondering if that has anything to do with us seeing these high grade, token books that are suddenly appearing on the market that are just being let go for super cheap.
Oh, where people are just like, kind of like, I don't need this in my PC anymore, or
right,
or like, I don't see it bouncing back up.
Yeah. What's up, John's Comics with Kids? This is my buddy. He lives down the freeway from me. Good guy. He's got a great YouTube channel, John's Comics with Kids, just like it sounds. He actually does a lot of adult stuff during the week, but on the weekend, I believe Saturday morning, he reads comics with his kids and for kids. So make sure you guys are checking him out, especially if you have like, young kids all the way up to like 15, 16 years old that are geeks like all of us. So shout out to John. Thank you, John, for joining us. I think that's a pretty interesting thing to think about. Like, we're seeing all of a sudden these high 9.8 high grades that are selling for so low. And it's right around that same time he said that he wasn't going to show up in DP3, but doesn't mean, like Aaron was saying, it doesn't mean he's down and out. Josh Brolin Cable I thought was awesome. Don't get me wrong, I thought it was weird that they did him and Thanos, and he's an even better Thanos, but I just don't see them recasting Cable. I thought he was an awesome Cable, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on like what the time that they actually do something with this character again. So it's just the timing of it. Like is Brolin going to be available when they're set to do something? I mean, I guess only time will tell, right?
Jersey Debate says, I love that you said throw it in the slab bin. Definitely got 2 of those, some hanging on to, and some broke my heart. Oh yeah, for sure. I was an idiot at the beginning when I was first getting graded books. I bought 2 of those plastic slab bins that you just kind of snap together, but they're always like, they're never staying in one place. I got 2 of those, and then I was like, why am I doing this? Just buy some magazine freaking, size short boxes. But yeah, shout out to Jersey the Bay. John's Comics Kid said, you heading to WonderCon, my man? No, actually I'm not, man. I got a lot of stuff going on. If I do go to a con this year, it's going to be San Diego. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers by within, let's say, middle of June to the end of June, then, because I think it's like, what, Aaron, the 1st or 2nd week of July?
No, it's the last, I think it's like the 3rd week of July. It's the 20. Okay. It's like the 24th to the 28th.
Yeah, because it's the same week that the horse races at Del Mar opens up that week. So if we get over 1,000 subscribers, probably like 95% I'll be there. But yeah, I appreciate you, bro. You going to WonderCon, John? Let me know.
I already bought my plane ticket to San Diego.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
It's like one of those situations where if I buy it, like, at least I'm committed somewhat to at least be in the area, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I figured like I have now until July to figure out all the other stuff like tickets and if I'm gonna a place to stay and all that. But I'm not too worried about it.
Igor is asking, what if he meaning Josh Brolin can't play Cable because he's playing Thanos in Deadpool 3? More of like a redundant theory question. I like it. John's Comics for Kids says, yeah, I'm doing all 3 days of WonderCon. Oh, wow. Aren't you
nice?
Cool? No, I'm kidding. Are you going to be hunting, or what are you going to do? Are you going to have a booth? Are you going to be selling? Are you doing the show there? Are you going to do a live stream? Let me know. If you end up live streaming from there, send me a link. I'd love to jump on even from home. But hopefully you you have a good time in WonderCon. I'd really like to go. I'd love to meet up with you. I just it's just not in my cards right now. So and then Awesome Sauce Radio, Adam says John is WonderCard. Okay, I think WonderCon worth going. Okay.
Yeah, Texas speech.
And then he goes on and he's just talking to Adam in there, and then hunting and hanging out mostly. Okay, cool. That sounds like my kind of con. All right, let's move on. This is the last book, finally the last book of not that I'm not having fun, but I just kept messing up. And I was like, man, I didn't realize I missed this much time. So sorry about that, missing last week. I'll try not to miss any more weeks. So this is Crow #1 again on By the Dip List. The book continues freestyle jumping from By the Dip to almost 10 to freaking hot 10 to back to almost 10 to By the Dip. What is going on with this book, Aaron, especially in either Raw and or CGC 9.8? Why is it on the list again, By the Dip?
So CGC 9.8 recently sold for $4,800. You may be like, oh wow, that's quite a bit of money still. Well, this is the lowest since 2020. This book peaked at $14,400.
Jesus.
So, I mean, like,
yeah.
If you bought it at 14,000 and you sold it for 4,000, you just lost out on 10K, like
65%. Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this book is definitely a modern grail. I would say a holy grail. You know, it's ridiculous. There's multiple prints of this book as well.
But is it because of the reception of the character that actually looks like the comic character and doesn't? And so that's what we were kind of talking about, like on the OG Hot 10.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember. Spidey Hunter, what up, man? He says the guys, Dollar and Easy, what up? He said, what's good, fellas? What's up, man? Appreciate you coming. Here at work, gonna have to rewind. The EP came late. # pause. Thank you. You're a good man. Planet AZ says this is low, even with the trailer for the new movie? ? Yeah, I mean,
yeah, for 14,400 on rumors of a movie that may or may not be made to the point where we have a trailer, you would think it's like backwards, right? That like at. I mean, I wouldn't even say 4,800. Like, I would say like probably, maybe like 7 to 8 is probably where it should have been. Like whenever the preview came out, or maybe the announcement of it, and then like when the actual preview dropped, like closer to 10 to 14, I guess.
Now let me ask you this: if you have 5K extra, and this is the book you're looking for, are you buying in at that? Knowing the precedent that's been set and how high it's peaked and averages out.
I mean, I think it's at the age of book where you're not going to see giant jumps in the census numbers too, right? Where the copies that are out there or like already graded. Like I really doubt you find this raw and in such a high grade condition that you could get a shoe in 9.8. Just looking at the all black cover too, like I can imagine that's just like a magnet for spine ticks.
Oh yeah.
So
Brutal.
I mean,
brutal.
If I had like $5,000 laying around to spend on a comic book, am I buying a Crow 1? Probably not. Like I think I would rather put my money somewhere else.
Well, what if you were in the market for this book? Is this the price that you're looking for?
Like if this is a wanted book that's been on my list forever, like am I buying it?
And you're waiting for a specific price, and knowing where the book peaked and averages out
at $5,000. If I could do it, then I probably would. But I mean, again, like this is not a book I follow, so. But I mean, like, I just know it's been brought up because like John Z, like he's been a big collector of this.
Jersey the Bay says if anyone is in the Bay Area, May 5th, Shortbox/CGC event in Santa Clara, Maria Wolf, John Jang, Rose Besh, and Bird City Comics. Others too. Thank you for that jersey, the Bay. Appreciate that. Hell yeah. Maybe I'll show up.
Oh, the short box event? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
They started that last year. And yeah.
All right, let's get going here. Let's get to the list. This is By the Dip episode number 14.1. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Double click that notification bell to also don't miss any of the really cool content Aaron and I have planned forthwith. And leave us a comment or question. Anything in the comment section. Let's debate. Let's chop it up. Let's say what's up to each other. We love answering the comment section. We'll get to you right away. And if you guys are using the postal service to trade comics, grade comics, press comics, sell comics, make sure you're using Gemini Comic Supply. Use the code Popcorn99 for 10% off your next purchase. And for our bonus code, SSP99, like Super Short Print 99, you'll get 10% off that order as well. All right, let's go. Let's go. Here is number 5 for By the Dip episode number 14.1. Number 5, Catwoman 23, cover A first print. Okay, raw copies. I put this on here specifically, and I was excited to talk about this because this book was one of the hottest books. The week it released all the way through maybe like a month, maybe almost 6 weeks after. I mean, this book was at one point was like a $30 to $35, $40 book. I mean, I'm not kidding around. And even the variant, which doesn't have the new Catwoman or Catgirl on the front, that was even like $25-$30. But Catwoman 23 cover A first printing from the 2018 series, continued series, DC Comics, your first appearance and first cover appearance of the new Catgirl. We're looking at raw, high-grade copies that sellers on the secondary market marked as VF near mint to near mint plus, a few even marked near mint. I dug deep, and this time last year, all the way through the summer of last year, an average fair market value was about $10. There was actually a high sale of around $15. Now, remember, this book was like a $30 to $35 book the week of release, and then it like settled around 25 to 30 for a long time. But this came out in 2020, right during the pandemic. So those prices, I didn't want to dig into those prices. I just wanted to let you guys know. But last year, $10 average FMV, high sale was around $15. Now, this is why I put it on the list also. We have multiple sales from January of this year throughout this month, about an average FMV at or around $5 with a low sale, and the seller put near mint in there, and it was a clean copy of $1.99, down 50 at or about 50%.
Wow.
Now I know this isn't on anybody's grail list and probably not most hunt list, but I mean, for $1.99, I'm paying the shipping and I'm grabbing this book.
Yeah, but after shipping and tax and everything, would it still be around $10 shipped?
Well, sure. I mean, compared to paying $10 to $15 plus
shipping and tax, and yeah, okay.
And like I was saying, I mean, even though it was during the pandemic, I mean, this book was hot for multiple weeks. I believe it was on at least one Hot 10. I was on that show. Mm-hmm. So like I said, I'm trying to stay away from those pandemic prices. I'm trying to give us a nice index from before the pandemic to after the pandemic. But yeah, I mean, if this character pops, this Catgirl character, you never know what could happen with this book, because this book was not heavily ordered. I'm thinking Comic-Con, I think I saw like 25,000 orders, something like that, something crazy low. So not crazy low, but low for this kind of title.
But there's a couple things that are also happening too, right? Like if this is being released during pandemic when stuff is shut down and then like stores aren't open on a regular schedule, is it like they finally got to the shop and the books are like more copies are released into the general population? Like, is that why the book originally dipped down? And then you also have to think this could be that during that time period too, when DC books are no longer a part of Diamond distribution and it's moving over to
Lunar.
Lunar, and whatever the other company
what was the other one called?
I don't even remember.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Like, I mean, does it really matter at this point? Because obviously one survived and the other one didn't. So
right.
yeah. So
hey, Universe, I don't see your wrench. I must when I add new people with the wrench, sometimes I freaking I hit like, because if you hit delete right when the X is, it's not like anything else on YouTube. It just takes the whole name off. So my bad. I'll make sure you have a wrench by next week. But thank you, X, for joining us. James Kreider joined us. Oh yeah, I've read this book like 3 times. It's actually a really good story. Not to mention Return for Snowflame. Totally. Wilbert, what up, man? Wilbert, man, this guy's solid speculator.
oh
All
yeah,
right.
dang.
I've
seen what I was gonna say. I've seen what he sent over to Red Hood the press.
Oh yeah, he's a beast. Yeah, X is a beast too.
Yeah.
Awesome Sauce Radio says Snowflame is awesome sauce. Yeah, I'll take care of you. Don't worry. Trust me, I do it more often than I should. So, and I know you're not the type that gets emo, but I've gotten a few emo DMs asking about it. I'm like, oh shit, my bad. Let me fix it. So,
Yeah.
all right, good. All right, let's move on to number 4. Ooh, I love this book. I love this cover. I wish I owned it. I can't find a good copy, but it might be the time to move on this. We have Fantastic Four number 72, issue number 72, 12-cent copy. This is from volume 1 from the 1961 series, the iconic series. We are looking at a release in 1968. Iconic. I put classic Silver Surfer cover art because I didn't want to use iconic too loosely, but this with the Watcher in the background and all red, this cover's starting to get kind of popular. I remember this time last year, all the way through last year into, I think it was like right after New Year's. This book was selling really well, and I remember the high sale of it was actually $999. It was actually $999.95. 5 cents off $1,000, which I thought was totally weird. But average FMV for this baby on raw copies that sellers marked VF near mint to near mint copies, $376 with a high sale of almost $1,000. Now we're looking at February and March, multiple sales of this year, an average fair market value for this book in very high grade, very fine near mint to near mint, $152 on average with a low sale of $140. That's down at or about 60%.
Oh wow.
What are you doing here, Aaron?
Oh, so Silver Surfer's always been one of my favorite characters to collect, like ever since I was little. And then when I started doing all the podcasting stuff, that was my silent, I'm going to keep on picking up Silver Surfer books and not tell anyone. So I stopped that after a while and didn't really talk about the books, but like seeing some of these prices again, like it's starting to look attractive.
I know and it's like, I know I Aaron makes more money than me because he's like the big shit on Rice University, but whatchamacallit, I don't know about you, Aaron, but I have to have a comic and a card budget. I can't do either or. I've caught myself doing either or so many times, and money runs out like so fast, and you don't even get the good stuff you wanted sometimes.
I go through time periods, like I'm ending my card phase and getting back into comics slowly, like buying comics again. Right. Or dipping my toes, I should say. So I'm at that transition period where I know about how much money I can spend on either or at a given moment in time, and then I've allocated a little bit more to less from cards because I need to start selling some of that stuff and getting some of that capital back. Which baseball season's starting again, so I'm getting ready to list a bunch of stuff. Like I already see the excitement of that happening.
I agree. It's funny you bring that up because that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get so much stuff graded. But I think I'm just going to stick to baseball and football because at least when I get the slabs back, it'll be like football season, So baseball goes all the way to October. So
yeah, and what I would look at now is what I don't know in football if it's better to buy cards before the draft or after the draft.
Usually the draft's in April. When is it this year?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to football at all that often.
All right.
So.
All right. Good point. Let's get back to comics. People
Yeah.
are probably pulling their hair out. So, all right. So, yeah, I mean, and just to give you guys a head, I don't know if you guys know this, but issue 72 actually starts. It gets 72, 73, 74, 75. I think it goes all the way to 77. And it's the long origin story of Silver Surfer and how he became, hooked up with Galactus and the Herald of Galactus and so on and so forth. So really good read as well. Jack Kirby. Is this Jack Kirby or Steve Ditko cover art? Probably Kirby. It looks like Kirby to me.
Well, I mean, it's fantastic. So let me double check. I don't remember. Fantastic.
Even Funhouse is asking if that's Kirby. Oh yeah, here's Awesome Sauce. He's saying that Kirby at his he says this Silver Surfer book is my top 5 surfer books of all time. Kirby at his best. God rest his soul. 100% agree. So yeah.
So Kirby's the penciler. This website doesn't say who the cover artist is. Let me see.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it has to be Kirby. But all right, no big deal. Let's move on. Let's get into number 3. We have Ultimate Fallout 4. This is Ultimate Fallout issue number 4. This is the second print variant. I don't know why they didn't do third print, but anyways, second print variant by Sarah Pacelli, particularly in a CGC 9.8. Never mind the specialized CGC label. I just got this for the picture from my comic shop, but yeah, what is going on here, Aaron? So I don't know if I really like this cover as much as I like the Bagley showing his face, right? Second print,
yeah.
But I do like the fact that it is completely different than the first print, unlike the Bagley second print, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a panel, right? It's a panel cover.
Right.
Like,
it's a panel cover on white, though. And I love the way the trade is, the way I love the way it stands out.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of panel art being second print covers, like especially if it's like a really good panel.
Hell yeah.
And then it's a Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott cover and art.
He's talking about Silver Surfer 72.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Ultimate Fallout 4 second print Pacelli, second print variant, 2011 Marvel Comics. We're looking at a CGC 9.8. This is your first appearance of Miles Morales in Earth 1610. So this time last year, just after, I would say probably about a week or two after Easter of last year, there was probably, I think there was like 8 sales in that 2 to 4 weeks. Average FMV there was $202 with a high sale of $253. I go in and check the hard data today. The same book, same grade we're looking at from January 2024 throughout this month so far. We have an average fair market value at or about $116 US with a low sale of $95, down 43%. I'm buying $95. I'm buying, baby. I'm buying.
Oh yeah, I mean, because even if you found this raw and graded it, you're already spending about
60 to 75 in the secondary market. If you go to an LCS, it's going to be $100. You're not asking for discounts at your LCS because you want to support those guys, So
yeah, so I mean, to buy it already at 9.8.
Manny Comic Collector, what up, man? He says UF number 4 a must buy if they're cheap, because eventually we'll see Miles in live action movie / show. 100% agree with you. I mean, even at $116 I'm buying. So as soon as we jump off here, I'm going to start looking. I'm going to use this data as a I wouldn't say leverage, but I would say at least a conversation piece with the seller as a bin or BO if I don't find any auctions. Wilbert goes on and says Miles is ice cold. People still want Miles books, but they want them cheap. Gotcha. Yeah, I have to agree. And the numbers back that up, Wilbert. Good call. All right, let's move on. Number 2. Ooh, I love this book. I want it so bad. Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes. This is issue number 23, and this is specifically in a CGC 9.2. Now, this particular cover is the 1 in 10 Adam Hughes. Just not a lot of copies out there, not a lot of sales as well, but in a 9.2, a lot of things you can work with a 9.2. You can keep a 9.2 and be happy with something this scarce, or you, like Aaron would say, go for the gusto and CPR that biatch.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, obviously, check your book, read graders notes. Like, if you're gonna buy anything from a 9.0 to a 9.6, like, do your due diligence. Like, is it like what they notate? Are those pressable defects? Right.
Right. Right. Good call. And let me ask you this: are we going with classic Adam Hughes cover art, or are we going with
iconic?
Iconic. I say classic.
Classic. It's probably a classic Adam Hughes cover, but in the sense of like the comic book community or speculator market and stuff like that, I think it's one of those iconic books.
So just to add to that, March of 2023, this time last year to about the middle of summer of last year, multiple sales with an average fair market value of $665. There was a sale at $695 I saw. Now we're looking at from January of this year throughout this month for this iconic classic, whatever you want to call it, Adam Hughes, pretty much Ghost. I would say Ghost, right?
Yeah.
It's just not a lot of copies.
Yeah,
it wasn't a lot of sales. I mean,
yeah, it's definitely a hard book to track down. Like,
yeah. A lot of people want this book, including myself, and I'll take it as CGC 9.2 all day, but that's my threshold. I cannot have a modern book as a 9.0 or below. That's just me. But yeah, January of this year to March of this year, average fair market value $465. There was a low sale, $435. That's down at or about 30%. Yikes! What were you going to say, Aaron?
I was going to say I like that kind of rule of thumb for modern books, like 9.2 or higher.
Yeah, because there's just some that are just like ghosts, like you guys talk about on Nearing Nirvana, on Long Story Short, that
it's so rare.
You know what I mean?
It's so rare that you'll probably never run into it again. Like,
pretty much, and it's hard to run into a really high grade copy.
Like when I found that Fly art germ cover, that's the homage to the AF-15. At the price I found it at, like I couldn't pass on it.
Yeah, good call.
Like, I mean, it was already a 9.8, but like at the same time, like I knew exactly what that was, and I knew I wasn't gonna like really ever run into it again.
No. Yeah, I mean, honestly though, I'm not buying in on this book at $465 for a CGC 9.2. Just the way I've been watching the market, I'm waiting until it's below 380, 390. Then I'm making a decision on this one.
See, I was thinking 300, 350.
300, 350? Okay.
For a 9.2 specifically.
Yeah.
Or raw,
right. Because this book raw is like 300 plus, right?
I've heard of multiple people paying over $500.
Wow.
But they also inspected the copies where it was like kind of like, oh, this is gonna be a shoe at 9.8.
Gotcha.
So I mean, does it justify paying that much of a price tag?
No, that's a good question. What up, Rocksteady?
What's up?
All right,
what Dards cards have you pulled?
Oh yeah,
because he's Canadian.
I haven't got my upper deck stuff yet, but we're gonna have a live stream for those for those hobby boxes, all the retail I have coming. Nice. Oh, we are on the Bedard hunt. So, all right, let's get to the last book so I can get you guys out of here. I know you're all tired. You got to work tomorrow, go to school, whatever you do. This is the #1 book on Buy the Dip, episode 14.1. Thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. #1. We have Extreme Venomverse #4. This is the 1 in 25 Okazaki from the 2023 Marvel Comics series in a CGC 9.8. You get multiple first appearances in here. First of all, there's like 3 or 4 stories. I've read this book. I think 3 stories, actually. Maybe 4. I don't know. But Necroco is the last story, but she's awesome because she kicks the shit out of bullies. She eats them. But anyways, yeah. So July 2023, so around release, so first to market. But the next 90 days, we have an average fair market value of $240 for this Extreme Venomverse 4 1 in 25 Okazaki CGC 98. Did have a high sale of $299.99. Now, I want to mention that high sale $299.99 was right around like a couple weeks after release. So they were definitely one of the first, if not the first to market.
Oh, so that could have been just like a pre-screen 98 or whatever.
Could have. Yeah, I didn't go back and check 130 point. I just went off cover price.
Yeah.
Hey, what up, Bruce? And Rocksteady says, I haven't hit any bed. Our newbie got, oh, okay. He hasn't hit any Connor Bedard's. Newbie got 2. All right. Good guy. Good guys, I should say. You guys, you'll get one. So if he got 2, you're definitely going to get one. Wilbur says, I love Necroco. So much potential if Marvel doesn't fumble the bag. 100%. I hope they don't pull a DC Comics. Let's look at the dip here. And Aaron wants to add some commentary. So now this book from January of this year throughout this month is down drastically. Average fair market value $147 for the CGC 98 in this beautiful Okazaki 1 in 25 of Necroco. Low sale of $127, down 40%. Aaron, what were you going to say before? And give me your opinion on this whole. Are you buying this book, and or you still continues to wait for it to drop?
I mean, if you're selling a 98 right now at that price, you should have sold this book raw. Just saying, right. And let someone else deal with the headache of dealing with a graded book or whatever. I don't read a lot of like spin-off stuff from Spider-Man, like, so I'm not a huge Venom fan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's certain books I like within the Venom realm of stuff. I find this character to be interesting, especially since it's like one of the Sailor Moon characters that ends up in the MCU to become that gets possessed by a symbiote.
Right.
I like that concept a lot, especially if Marvel is pushing for this manga Marvelverse thing that they're trying to build to win over manga readers, right? Because I mean, that's obviously the market that is reading the most and making the most purchases on graphic novels or on manga specific books, right?
Right.
These comic publishers, I feel like, want that taste, right?
Yeah, I definitely. And I think when it comes from a buyer or a fan's point of view perspective, I think the fact that Marvel is starting to put, I wouldn't say on the regular, but pretty more often these manga anime style art characters on covers and or in the guts. And the Canadian US collectors and readers, they're going, wow, this is cool. This I like the way this looks. I think that has a lot to do with it as well.
Right. I like how they're blending in, like, they're still keeping it traditional comics while still like trying to win over a new crowd, right? Without taking one side over the other. Like, I think they did find a good balance between the two. Like, even though this book's on the dip or whatever, we're still talking about it how many months later. It's almost, I want to say, like, what, this book is like almost a year later.
Yeah, it's like 9 months, something like that.
Yeah.
Righteous Flipper, what up, man? He says overpriced book will not have high resale value in the future. First appearances are a dime a dozen. The quote unquote hot artist cover can only go so far. Marvel needs to create its own original manga universe. Okay. Wow, a lot to say there.
Which they did do that in the 90s.
Yeah, and are you saying, Righteous Flipper, do you think this particular book, or are you just saying in general?
Because I honestly,
okay, because I honestly think if you're paying 127 to 147 for this cover in a CGC 98, good for you. I think that's a strong buy. I personally, I think it's a strong buy. Will it be $89 in 3 weeks? Who knows? I don't know. Could be, but honestly, I think it's bottoming out right here at probably about $140. But we'll see. we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you might see a sale that slips in for like 100 or whatever.
Yeah, ends on a Thursday or Friday or some
Books that
weird
ends at midnight for
shitty
whatever.
pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that was Buy the Dip episode number 14.1. Do you have any pickups, Aaron? Did you want to show anybody anything or?
Okay, I have 2 sets of pickups. I'll start with cards because I know not a lot of people are interested in that. So we'll start up. So if you watch Beyond Wednesdays, I did show that on here. So, you got to get a home field advantage of Ellie De La Cruz rookie card. I mean, but one's not good enough, so you got to get 2.
Oh,
yeah, you have to have 2, right? I'm hyped on Ellie, so we'll see if he continues to so, and then I bought this other card. It's from Topps Tier 1. I bought it for the cost of a box. So if you're not familiar with their format, you get 3 cards in the box, like a base card, a relic card, and an auto. So for the price of a box, I bought this one card. It's a auto Randy Johnson.
Wow.
Gold signature, which is a case hit, 1 of 1.
Wow.
So for the cost of a box. So I'm personally not going to open any Topps Tier 1. I bought the card I like. So yeah.
Rocksteady's asking, did you guys get the Charlie Woods out of SI Kids? That's Sports Illustrated Kids. Charlie Woods, that's Tiger Woods' son, right?
Oh, does he have a card now?
I'm almost done. Yeah, I don't know if he has a card, but he probably is on the cover or something.
Oh, is he on the cover? Okay.
Wilbur says, good show tonight. Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate you, Wilbur. I'm really glad you're hanging out. Funhouse is saying sub up on the way out. Thank you for holding it down, Funhouse. What else you got, Aaron?
So, I mean, I always have this TMNT Momoko cover, right?
Right.
Well, you got to get the Mexican foil version from Mole. So this is the foil. I found someone that was selling it, and I was like, if I can find this book less than or equal to or less than the price of this book, I'm gonna pick up a copy, and I did. So I was like, I was really happy with that. I think I paid maybe like $5 more than I paid for the original, so I thought that was kind of funny. Then I sold off the original, so I had to pick up the foil.
Foil.
I missed my original copy, and seeing this in foil, I kind of still like the original a little bit more. Really? So yeah, but I mean, this does have the same kind of effects to it as the original did. Like, I think this cover definitely looks better in person than it'll ever look on camera. Jeez. But I mean, like the lighting is like it's hard to see, but the colors.
That's Momoko, really right?
Momoko? Yeah, this is also Momoko. This is this is Ghost Spider number 2, the 1 in 25 that Momoko had for that month.
It was a big book for a long time,
huh? It's still a pretty decent book and stuff like that. Like I bought a 9.6 and I sold it just when I needed money, and it was like at that tail end of the hype of people excited for Gwen Stacy after Edge of the Spider-Verse or whatever, or Spider-Verse.
Gotcha. Yeah, Ronan K. Ken, what up, man? I always call him Ronan K, but Ronan Khan says informative show tonight, guys. Thank you, appreciate that, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. Manny the Comic Collector says today I went to multiple Targets looking for Upper Deck Series 2, and I didn't find a single box. Ugh. Wilbur says, yeah, he's got a card. Okay, so going back, that's what I wanted to show. So Rocksteady Collectibles is asking us if we got Tiger Woods' son out of the SI Sports Illustrated Kids yet, and we were talking about that, and then he answered our question. Yeah, there's a card in the mag this month, and Wilbur was saying, yeah, he's got a card like Wemby. So very cool, very cool.
Is Tiger Kid playing golf?
Yeah, dude, Charlie Woods is a beast, bro.
How old is he now? How old is he now, though?
I don't know. I think he's 16.
Oh, okay.
17. I don't know. He's young, but he's not like a little kid. I don't think. I think he's like 15. I don't know. You guys tell me. You guys know in the chat. Jersey Bay is talking to Wilbur. Says Croco appears on just 4 covers, right? No, she appears on cover A, the 1 in 25, because one of the covers is just that Venom Noir and I think 3, at least 2, but maybe 3. There are 4 covers though. And Wilbur says the original Ghost Spider #2, issue 2, 1 of 25 is the bestest cover ever, and I'll fight you on that. Hell yeah, I like it too. I've never owned it. I really, and like I said, those early Momoko covers, man, I think they're going to be gold one day.
I mean, yeah, that's why the original Momoko TMNT 100, because this predates that, but it wasn't like a major title either, right? I mean, it was a major title, but it wasn't like Marvel or DC,
right?
So
right.
I kind of wish I didn't sell that Ghost Spider, and I figured one would come to market at some point in time, like as Spider-Gwen books are declining right now.
Nice. Rocksteady Collectible says he's played in a PGA event already. He's 15. Thank you, Rocksteady. Appreciate you, brother. Anything else, Aaron? Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Oh, junior PGA. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's like father, like son, right? Like one of Tiger Woods' first cards was in an SI for kids, I want to say.
Yeah.
So,
all right, guys, we're out. Before we go, I want to remind you guys you can catch Aaron and I every Friday night on the House of Stein YouTube channel. As you can see here, I mean, let me see. We have a little commercial here. It's 8 p.m. Pacific Standard, 11 p.m. Eastern. We have, if you guys like this and you're not subbed up, make sure you're subbed up to the House of Stein YouTube channel. We have 4 lists over there, and it's really good commentary. Me, Aaron, Ben, Bryan, and Joe. For some reason, our chemistry just flows, and it's a really good time. You guys got to check it out. It's a good show. And shout out to those guys over there. And also, so you'll see me and Aaron on Friday this week. There's also on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Tuesdays now, you have Beyond Wednesday's YouTube channel, owned and hosted by the one and only Bryan McClay. You can sometimes see me on there. You see Aaron on there as a regular. But yeah, other than that, though, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. We love you all. We'll see you next week on Buy the Dip episode number 15. If not, see you Friday on the House of 10 original Hot 10 comic show. Later.